What is up, guys? How are you doing? Sorry for the late night, last minute drop on here. Hey, it's gonna be quick, guys. I'm really sorry. So, hold on, let me adjust this real fast. So, man, real bummer. I know a lot of you guys have pets, and Oliver, Monica and I's cat, got sick this weekend, and before I keep going, he's okay right now. But he went to the vet, and he didn't find anything. It was just like his yearly checkup, and the vet just did some normal blood work, and when he did the blood work, he had to give him a little Valium. You guys have heard me tell stories about Oliver. He is a rambunctious cat. He's very feisty. Yeah, he's very feisty. He controls Walker. You know, he's something. So he had to get a little Valium. And when we came home, this was Saturday morning. We came home and Oliver didn't get out of the Valium. Like, like the Valium kind of makes you a little loopy. He was tired. He was, real not Oliver. We started noticing a few different things, and sorry about this. Is going to be a bummer of a story for the people that are just jumping on right now too. But we started noticing a few different things, and we saw him breathing. He's still okay. So I see people jumping on, and I'm telling this terrible story. He's okay, but we saw him breathing really heavy, and eventually, I guess he walked into the studio last night and just kind of fell over. So we took him to the emergency vet last night, probably around midnight, and we were at the emergency vet till I think 2:30 a.m. Closer to 3 o'clock probably. Oh, we got home at 2:30. I was delirious by this point. I'm not a night owl person, and didn't get any sleep the night before from Oliver being sick, and I know, Chris. I keep saying he's okay, and it gets worse. Well, keeps getting worse. We were at the emergency vet, and they had to put him on oxygen, and it just wasn't really looking super good for him. They did a X-ray, and his whole body essentially was filled with fluid. It was fluid around, not in his lungs, but around his lungs, around his heart. So he was just having a hard time breathing on his own. So they were able to get the fluid out. They were able to wean him off oxygen. At 7 o'clock this morning, Monica and I, so we got home 2:30. We had no sleep the night before from being sick. But we got home, and so we had to, at 7 a.m. we had to go pick him up, and they were still working on him when we went to pick him up at 7. So we didn't get to our vet, like our normal vet, until 8 o'clock. Am I? Like 8:15, 8:30. I know I'm like giving like super details, which is probably not super necessary. Just I don't know why the timeline. I'm exhausted. Is really all it is. We were at the regular vet for a while, and then our vet just decided just to keep him because we're still waiting on the blood results from when he was there just the other day for his normal checkup. Just his normal checkup. It was just crazy. Went from being a normal weekend. I was going to film on Sunday like I always do. I kind of decided I might take the day off just because I was tired after the vet visit and stuff, but it just went terrible. But it ended up being okay because Oliver is still with us. Oliver's a 15-year-old cat, and he's still here. Monica and I are just really tired. What's that? And worried and stressed and just, oh my gosh, it's exhausting. Like, because you constantly think that something's gonna be bad. So that's the day. I meant to cancel the live stream. and I just jumped on my computer and I saw a message from Terry on Twitter saying no live stream question mark, and I was like, oh, I completely forgot. So I didn't want to just send out a message saying canceled. I just wanted to jump on and say that it was canceled. So even though I'm here, I mean, I know I said it's canceled even though I'm here. But so I'm starting a new. I'll just run through a few of the things that I was going to talk about, anyways. But I'm starting a new series. I don't really have a name for it yet. I kind of did the intro today, and we'll see if it sticks. And I don't know if it's going to be the intro that is used, because I'm probably like, you know, yeah, it sucks. Oliver's a cool cat. I mean, it sucks. A reaction to the Valium. No, Shadow Seed. The vet said that they've never seen the Valium do that. That it was just most likely a thing that was already happening. Yeah, he was wheezing a little before we went into the vet. Like every now and then, not all day long or anything like that. Every now and then, he would do like this little cough. You know, like not like a cough wheeze, almost like somebody that has asthma that's kind of like, you know, for a short period of time, but then he would just go back to normal and he would run around and he would attack Walker. He would jump up on his thing. He would beg for food. You know, he's a dog. He's a dog inside of a cat. And
did come out of the Valium for a slight.
Yeah, he did. Monica's over here talking. He came out of the Valium for a little bit. You know, he kind of seemed like it was like, oh, okay, here's Oliver. He's coming back to normal, and then went way downhill real fast. So yeah, it is crazy. It is a bummer, you know. I mean, these guys are your kids. You know, they are like your family. They are, you know, I was never a pet person. You know, I mean, growing up, I had pets. My mom had pets, really. I mean, it was my family's pets, but I feel bad my mom's not here because I told her that I wasn't going to be doing this tonight. They were my family's pets. I always had like pets, but I never imagined having pets on my own. Like I never imagined like going off into the real world and like adopting a dog and having a cat, and I ended up doing all of that, you know. And I love them to death, and it is tough when they get sick because you just don't know what's wrong with them, and you hate to see them like that, you know. Like they can't talk to you and say like, "No, Dad, my chest hurts," you know. Like it's just a bummer. It's just a bummer. You know, Shadow, see, that's kind of what I was thinking too. The weird thing is they said the fluid was on the outside of the lungs, and I always thought that when it's pneumonia, that the fluid is on the inside of the lungs. But they actually, so for Oliver, for being, you know, imagine cat size, they were able to pull out a little over a quarter liter of fluid from around the outside of his lungs, which to me is just crazy. I mean, it's just crazy. But yeah, so Oliver's with us. He's at the vet right now. We've talked to the vet a few times today, and the vet has been, you know, just super super comforting and just super great. We have a very good vet, you know, and he's saying that Oliver's comfortable and he's pretty much fine. He's just he's purring. He's just chilling at the vet, and he's like in there like ICU getting monitored, you know, and he has an IV and he's just hanging out, getting his fluids and just kind of enjoying his night, you know, like he's just relaxing. So, and he did look, after they removed the fluid from his lungs, he did look, I mean, like 1,000 times better. It was kind of wild seeing him, like when we gave him to the emergency vet, and then when we went and picked him up from the emergency vet, and just seeing, you know, his face and his body and everything kind of return like a little bit back to normal. It was really wild. It was really, really wild. Yeah, Terry, it's different. It's a different life when your babies get sick. It's like you feel sick. You know, I mean, that's what Monica and I both said all day today. It's just like you just kind of like this sick, exhausting feeling, and really we've only been sleeping in little spurts. So, in between all of this, I'm trying to get this week's video out. Like this week I set up the new times. I don't know if you guys saw, just to kind of get off of that and go into some normal business. Um, normal sustache business. So I posted a thing the other day, a poll the other day on my channel community tab, and I asked everybody what they thought the best days and times were, and that was simply because I am all over the place with days and times. You know, I feel like Sundays work for me sometimes, Saturdays work, you know, and realistically having a channel, it just works better when the majority of people can watch your videos at the same time, because the more people that watch your videos right off the bat, the better it's gonna do, you know. So drastically, I'm talking 50% of the votes, which, I mean, there really wasn't that many votes. Usually there's a lot more on these polls, but still, drastically, 50% of the votes was Wednesday and Saturday. So I'm gonna start posting. Oh, Mom, it's okay. I told you, I wasn't even doing this. I'm gonna jump off here in about 5 minutes. But Wednesday at 5 p.m. and Saturday at 9 a.m. Now, unfortunately, because of this week's events, I might not be hitting the Wednesday deadline. I did film a little bit of the intro. I'm gonna start doing, along with like the crazy recipes, you know, like the trending foods. I realized that I find a lot of my recipes off of Instagram, and there are a lot of recipes on Instagram that I want to make that just don't really fit the normal, like, it's not like this big trending thing, you know, or like this cool known food. It's just a neat recipe, and I want to make it. And so, I mean, I could call the show It's a Neat Recipe and I Want to Make It, but I'm thinking about calling it Saustache versus Instagram, Mark versus Instagram, or Stash versus Instagram, or Stash versus Gram. That's kind of what I'm thinking. That's what I'm going with right now. I kind of shot an intro. It was a tired intro, you know, so I don't know what it's going to look like once I pull the footage out. Oh, Terry, that pie was really cool. That was really, really neat. I don't know. I don't know if I can do that. I gotta look and see. I gotta see if that is strictly a Tasty recipe. Like, if they made it up, I'm not gonna mess with Tasty. But if I can find somebody else that's done that, I haven't done a whole lot of research on it. But I'll tell you, that was neat. Terry sent me this thing, and it was from Tasty. It was a Tasty video. I don't know if it's theirs or not. Sometimes Tasty says they come up with recipes, but I don't think it's actually their recipe. But it's a, let me put this little thing on here, just because, here we go. It's a recipe that's an apple pie that doesn't have any apples in it. It was like crackers and then apple flavoring in a pie shell, and it supposedly confused a lot of people. So yeah, Terry, that was neat. That was really, really, really neat. And I might use that eventually. Like that could be something that comes up on the show, because I think that was really cool. I mean, especially if it actually confused people. You know, that's the thing that I find neat. But yeah, so the first thing that I'm gonna do, and I think I showed you guys before, is this. Oh, this is how tired I am. I just pointed the phone at the microphone thinking you guys would see it. The first thing I'm going to do is from Food God, Jonathan Cheban, Foodie of the Year winner, this thing right here. It's pretty neat. It's like molecular gastronomy type of deal. It's a pretty cool thing. So I was working on that a little bit today in between passing out sleeping, but we'll see how it comes out. I'm really excited. Hopefully I'll have that done Wednesday. It kind of just all depends on, we have to figure out what happens tomorrow with Oliver, you know, with him coming home, when he's going to come home, yeah, and what's going on, you know, like, you know, what he has to do. So let's see. So some of you guys are saying bacterial pneumonia, viral pneumonia, or all types of sick. I'm not gonna mycoplasma. All different systems, and all can affect cats. So yeah. So it's I kind of think it's bacteria. The woman explained to us. She said the doctor said that depending on the color of the liquid that comes out, you can kind of determine whether or not like it's an infection or like a heart disease issue. So she pretty much ruled out heart disease. She said it wasn't like a heart disease thing, but that it could be a number of different things. But to me, just the way she was talking, infection sounded the most plausible. They gave Oliver a antibiotic and just put him on a bunch of fluids. So yeah, it was a pinkish tinge. The fluid was a pink fluid that isn't that like a terrible thing to talk about on a food channel? The fluid that was pulled out of the cat was a pink fluid. Guys, but thanks for being here. You know, sorry for no notification. I really just missed it. I'm gonna try to get this video done tomorrow and somehow mostly edited. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. No, Oliver is strictly 100% inside cat. Terry's feeling better. That's good. Now that you're oh, jeez, that's a bummer. That's how it always happens. Like 1-1-1-1. You know. But yeah, it's definitely something. So I'll keep everybody updated. You know, I'll do a little Oliver post tomorrow over on Instagram or on the Facebook feed. Maybe I can even post something on the community tab here. Not on the Saustache guy, but on Saustache. But be looking forward to the new video on Wednesday. I'm really hoping this one does well. I think it will. I think people are gonna like it. I think it's gonna be neat. The SERP stuff that I made for like the top thing is awesome. It came out exactly the way that I wanted it. Okay, gang, I am out of here. I'm gonna figure out a simple dinner for Monica and I to eat, and then we're just gonna go to bed. Oh, by the way, if you're interested, watch the Fire Festival documentaries on Netflix and Hulu. Specifically the Netflix one. We watched it the other night. That is just the craziest thing that happened. If you don't know about it, it's just about this guy that scammed a bunch of millennial kids into paying a fortune for a concert that just never existed. And it was wild. I mean, a true story. Documentary that happened. I mean, I remember watching it happening on Twitter 2 years ago, and like everybody was losing their mind. But yeah, it's a neat documentary. Monica and I just watched it the other night. Okay, gang, I'm mumbling off and just kind of out of it for the night, but thank you guys for being here. I know it was a small crowd tonight. There was no notice. There was no nothing. I just jumped on as soon as I saw the message from Terry. So thank you, Terry. I appreciate you. Gang, that's it. Yeah, Shadow. He is a tough old cat. He really is you can't even. That's the funny thing. You can't even tell he's old. You know, he doesn't act like an old cat. He acts like a kitten. You know, he runs around going crazy. So it's kind of funny. You know, I have no fear that he's just gonna be back to normal any day now. So, okay, gang. Thank you. I'm out. I'm gonna do it for real this time.